Today on Tech Without Fear, we're going to be teaching you how to make this into this. Stay tuned. Hello guys, and welcome back to Tech Without Fear. Today we're going to be covering some basic Photoshop retouching tutorials. Let's continue. I'm going to show you a couple of techniques. So first thing we want to do is get a picture that we want to retouch. So in this case, it's this one. And now what we want to do is you want to make a new copy, and you can do that just by bringing it down to the new layer. We want this new copy because we want to be able to see our old copy after we make some touches. So first tool I'm going to teach you, this is one of my favorite tools, is the clone stamp tool. So the way this works, I'm just going to make my size a little smaller. You want to work with a size brush that's approximately relative to what you're going to be doing, and you'll see for a second. So this is our layer, and let's say I wanted to remove this wrinkle right here. What I would do is I'd alt click on some skin really close to it, and now you'll see that when I'm removing, it's sampling from here. And as I go on to remove this wrinkle, it samples the same sized brush in the area we clicked. That's why we don't want our brush to be too big. If our brush was like, that's a little too big. If our brush was, yeah, let's say around this size, and I clicked over here because I wanted to use that, look what you see happening. You see right here, a little bit of this wrinkle came on, and exactly if I went down here, you can see it's starting to go all the way down here. So we want our brush size to be very fine. Not extremely fine, but just relative to what you're going to be working with. Want to alt click something above because we don't want to get too close to the eyebrows. And you can see that it's beautifully just taking something from the relative close by area and replacing that. It's an amazing, wonderful tool that you can use for many other things. Let's say you wanted to get rid of this hand. You could start cloning from around here to start getting rid of this hand. Exact same principle. Clone stamp can be used for many other things. Like you can end up merging these two fingers into one if you use a clone stamp tool properly, which I'm currently not doing because my brush size would have to be bigger to at least cover these two ends. Alright guys, so after the clone stamp tool, the next tool we're going to be working with is this patch tool. Patch tool is very easy to use. So basically you select an area of skin and you can move it around and it'll take something from there. So I used it in the wrong direction right there. Let's say we want to cover up this wrinkle, and we want to use this patch of skin directly beside it. So we don't want the clone stamp tool selecting what we need to do. We want to do it ourselves. Just wanted to select this, and I wanted to use this skin right here. It's gonna try to blend that in. You can see oftentimes it's not very efficient in doing what you'd want it to do. But if you just turn off transparent, so the work you're doing isn't actually transparent. Sorry, that was my bad. And you can see that it's working wonders. It's just not as efficient as any of the other tools. The other tools provide a sense of automation in which they do a lot of the work for you. And then we have our healing brush tool. Does the exact same thing as a clone stamp tool. You can see it's sampling from nearby area. We can also turn our softness up, so you can see it's not that starch of a flow. It's very soft. And generally, when you're doing retouching, you want your work area to be nice and soft. You want everything to flow. Now you see how it's a little darker under his skin? We don't want that. Let's say if the model, we can move to a lighter patch of skin, and we can start using that to sample. We don't want to move too far up here, so you can select some stuff over here. And you can see it brightened up his eyes compared to what they were before. Also, you can use a spot healing brush tool. So you want to go to proximity match. And what proximity match? This spot healing tool by far is my favorite tool, because when set to proximity match, it'll simply take everything that's available from the edge. Now this is a dimple. You don't want to be cutting this out because it will look extremely unnatural, because that's how a human face looks. But wrinkles can always be altered. You can see it looks a little iffy over here. So this is maybe where you'd want to go back to your clone stamp tool, sample some area from up here, and basically drag that area down there. Now we're working in a really iffy area, so that place is not very high resolution, does not have a lot of good textures, so you're always going to encounter some problems. But if you're someone that doesn't want to go too in depth, just go back to the spot healing brush tool. It does all the work for you. You see, you can just generally, oh, I made a mistake there. The spot healing brush tool is kind of a foolproof for beginners. Like, you can simply just start going over things, and the brush will do most of the work for you, filling in stuff that makes more sense. You don't want to be doing something too wacky, like huge long lines, or then it's going to start sampling from underneath. So just stick to small samples in which it'll sample just from the nearby area. And you can also do everything the way you'd like and finish up with this brush. It's a really great tool for every Photoshop creator's arsenal. Photoshop, I meant image creator's arsenal. Here we want to move really carefully, slowly, as if we make a big line. See, it's going to start including stuff from under. So here are your three main tools. Let's go over everything again. Your spot healing brush tool, obviously set it to proximity match. You can use content aware, in which it'll try itself, and you can also use a texture if you'd like. The next tool is the healing brush tool. It works in the same way as a clone stamp tool. The patch tool is you can select a patch of skin right here, and let's say you want another eye up there. There you go, you got another eye up there. Select this, and I say I don't want an eye up there, and it looks like he's now a pirate. It's quite amazing what you can do with this. It can get all wacky. Halloween's past, but you know, we can always try stuff. You can literally remove eyebrows. You can remove his whole face using this. I'm gonna undo this because it's really creepy. But you see how powerful these tools are, and almost all of this stuff is automated, so there's really nothing much for you to do. And then finally we come back to the clone stamp tool. I explained to you, you want to select the area, and then just you can start using it. And once again, I come back to those beginners that really have no idea what they're doing. You just use the spot healing brush tool. It does all the work for you. It's a great tool. Why get more complicated than you need to be? Alright, so now that we're done, let's look at our old image. And wow, look at that. You see that? All the wrinkles from here, everything's gone. It looks like this person's at least 30 years younger. It's a great tool. And when you look at it in both ways, you can start noticing some of the flaws. For example, we can obviously see it's a little bit off colored right here, so maybe we could color that back in. Yeah, that seems to be around the color we'd want. And obviously I talked about how we're messing very close to the hair on this end, so we're gonna have a little bit of problem with that. But believe it or not, you guys are done, and thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more videos.